Alright, hello everybody. Today is October 27th, 2019. This will be my first official video on the Panasonic HC-X920 camcorder. And this is a very long overdue update. Well, I suppose it's going to be more of a 1-year ownership report on my newer 2002 F-150, and when I say newer, I just mean the one that replaced the old 2002 F-150 I had, which was beginning to have some issues. I've had this truck for about a year, like I said, not quite, and it's been quite a trooper, I'll say that. I'll also say, referring back to my old truck, I'm very happy I bought this truck when I did. I did need a replacement vehicle, because about 2 days after I picked this thing up, my red truck started to have some major mechanical issues. I don't know if it was a computer issue or what, but the engine began to shudder really badly. It acted like it was misfiring. My transmission was not shifting past 30 miles per hour. It had absolutely no acceleration. It was bad. I don't know what happened to it, but I just went to start it up one morning and I got it scanned, and it was throwing 2 million different error codes on the computer. So I don't know what was wrong with that thing. I sold it for $200, got rid of it, and that was that. So I got this guy. Same thing as the truck I had before, except it's white and it has the Triton V8 4.6 liter. The old truck was a V6 4.2 liter. I like this engine much more. It's been much more dependable. I've put about 6,000 to 6,500 miles on this truck. I got it at about 151,500. It's now at 157,000, so not quite 10,000 miles like I guess a lot of Americans put on their vehicles, but every year. But I put quite a few miles on it, and this thing has been a trooper. Unfortunately, it's needed a lot of work. I did not know it needed a lot of work when I bought it, but this thing has turned out to be an absolute money pit. Call me crazy, but I put about 3,000 to 3,200 into this thing as far as repairs. And you know, that's kind of one of the consequences of not getting the vehicle checked out by a mechanic when you buy it, because I got absolutely screwed on this thing. I paid $2,400 for it, and it's probably not worth everything I have into it, I'll say that. But it made more sense to go with the repairs than to sell another vehicle, buy another vehicle. I didn't want to go through that again. But this thing needed, if you remember the video I made of it, that one day I had mentioned the steering felt a little choppy. I thought that might have just been me or something in the road possibly, but turns out the front end was pretty much completely ready to fall apart on this thing. Needed upper and lower ball joints, control arms, sway bar links, tie rods, whatever. All those front end components needed to be replaced on this thing. And that was quite an expensive job. That was the first major hit I got with this truck. Back in June, the transmission stopped shifting on it. It would not go over 30 miles an hour when it was really hot. So took it to Atomic Transmissions in Villa Park. They dropped the pan, found metal shavings everywhere. That was a $1,700 transmission rebuild I had to do on this thing. So yeah, not fun. I've taken it a lot of different places, and the most recent major job I had on it, I had the back brakes done because the brake pedal was getting squishy and it was making some noise. So I just had an $800 brake job done on this thing. So, but you know, besides that, it's been a solid truck. It's, like I said, very bittersweet. I have a love-hate relationship with this truck, I'll say that. But you know, it is pretty good. I mean, the title I got for this thing when I first bought it came back to a Chicago address, even though I bought it out in Aurora. But for a Chicago truck, this thing has very little rust. This side is the worst. It's got your typical Ford rust down in the corner. It's beginning to form down there by the cab. But this side, the passenger side, is much better. By the way, the black stuff is because I drove on a road that had fresh oil. I should not have done that. Whoops. But that will be cleaned up at some point. But no rust down there. Very little rust over here. It's just starting right there. So not very major at all. But she's, like I said, I put about 5,000 to 5,600. Or no, I'm sorry. I believe 6,000 to 6,500 miles on this thing, and it's been pretty good. Still much less rust than the other one, and much more dependable. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I did to it inside, and boom, it looks just like my old truck. Like I said, I got this truck looking just like the other one. I was gonna switch the whole bench seat out because I actually like the cloth one and the other one better, but I did not do that. I just switched the seat cover, even though this one's really not made for the leather seat. I just put it in. It's gotten a little stretched out, but it works all right. Let's see. I did switch the stereo. This thing had the typical, it had the standard Ford cassette player. I got it switched out with my Alpine UTE-42BT from the other truck. Put in my Kenwood NextEdge NX800 UHF two-way radio, my Cobra 29XLR CB radio, even though I barely use this. This is my little voltage monitor thing, and that cord coming out of it runs up there to my Vantrue N2 Pro dash cam. So as you guys can see, I've switched everything over. It looks just like my old truck in here. It's identical in here to my old truck, except for this one has the Ford logo that's actually blue. The old one had the it just had the one that was engraved into the steering wheel. This one actually has the blue one, which unfortunately has seen better days. I kind of wish I could get that replaced, but I have a feeling you'd have to replace the whole airbag module to do that. But I'm not gonna make this video too long. I'm going to go ahead and start it up for you guys, and you guys will get to see it running and everything. Listen to how smooth and quick this thing starts up. Right over, just like that. No check engine light. The whole time I've been driving this thing, I have not gotten that check engine light once. So that is very good news. That tells me the seller didn't plug his computer in and clear any check engine light codes. But yep, there you guys go, 157,535. So right about 6,000 miles, I believe. But I'll go ahead and turn on all the lights. Now this one still has the same. This one has the same wonderful problem the red one did. That odometer likes to work when it wants to, and it actually doesn't do this that often, but when I cut the headlights, the odometer goes out. So, but usually if I do that, tap on the dashboard, it'll come back on. But this one's better than the other one, no doubt. Anyway, headlights, brights, hazards, and I'll walk you guys around. Pop the hood. Triton V8. I haven't gotten a chance to clean under here. It desperately needs an engine bay detailing, but there she is. Had to replace the third brake light when I first got it. That didn't work. It does burn a little bit of oil. I have to watch the oil, but it doesn't burn as much oil as the other one did. That guy was completely lying to me when he said it doesn't leak or burn oil. It does burn oil quite a bit, so that guy was a complete scam artist, the guy who sold this to me, but I'm certainly making it work. It's pretty good. Let me cut the brights off. Hazards. I'll show you guys something else. If you guys watched the previous video I just posted, I added something else to this truck that was not on my old truck. Frickin' backup alarm, which I love very much. It's a 112 decibel echo. What's the model on it? Can't remember off the top of my head, but it's an echo commercial backup alarm, which it definitely gets people's attention, I'll say that. Let's see, I'll show you guys my stereo, even though you guys have seen it before. It's a pretty sweet stereo. Not gonna keep that on too long. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but so yeah, just a lot of I'm glad that I got the stereo switched over. That cassette player would have driven me insane. There's my stereo, my Kenwood NX800, which I primarily use for my bus company. So there's that. Dash cam, I can power on and off with this button. Sweet zooming action on this camera, I love it. Let's see if that'll focus in. I just love this camera. The focus isn't the greatest, but yeah. Oh well, yeah, that's about the best we're gonna get, but that's my N2 Pro. It's been my dash cam for about a year, and I absolutely love it. It's been over a year, actually. My CB radio, which I just have the CB wired to the battery, whereas the NX800, my UHF radio, is tied to the fuse, so it comes on with the key. This one is just on the battery. I never really use this thing. I need to get a new antenna for it and get it tuned, because it doesn't have the greatest signal, and plus, you know, who uses CB anymore, right? But I still like it. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else to really show you guys. I can show you guys what I got in my back storage space behind the seat. I just have some random stuff back here. This is my oil. Keep my funnel and my extra oil and rag back there when I have to fill up. I got jumper cables in this one. This is a really nice storage divider thing I bought at Walmart. I got my emergency triangles back there, old school bus triangles, and my scraper and other stuff. But yeah, it's basically it. Horn. So yeah, I did switch out the cup holder from my old truck, because this one, I had bought this one at the junkyard, switched it into the red truck, and then this one didn't have a working cup holder, so I switched in this good one that I bought for the red truck. It works just fine, and believe it or not, I actually went back to the junkyard. I found one more of those, and I actually keep it in that compartment I just showed you behind the seat, because those the springs on those cup holders are very prone to breaking for some reason. I don't know why, but a lot of these trucks I've seen have those broken in them. But yeah, I'll get out of the truck and do one more overview of it, and I will end the video. Actually, why not rev up the engine a little bit? This thing has a strong engine. I really love it. It's got a very strong engine. So there you guys go. There's my current 2002 Ford F-150.